guys, this is kc.wingert over at American Retirement Systems. I'm a senior marketing specialist with the firm, and it's been a couple of weeks since I shot a video last, and I just wanted to hop on and talk about some observations that I've been seeing in our retail practice here in Des Moines, Iowa, and also hopefully share a couple of marketing ideas that you think are valuable. So I guess the big thing that I wanted to get across to you guys today is it's our observation and our feeling that in today's marketplace, to set yourself apart from other financial advisors and make yourself a hot commodity in your community, you need to be talking to folks about life insurance. Life insurance obviously lends itself to talking about tax planning. Tax planning and life insurance is where it's at today. Okay, and the reason for that is the Secure Act of 2019 really dramatically changed the way people are viewing these qualified accounts that they're used to saving in, their 401ks and their IRAs. It eliminated the stretch IRA for a beneficiary, and it also created that 10-year rule, or the 10-year window that beneficiaries have to take the distributions out of the qualified accounts. And the other thing is, we also run into a fair amount of people that still have pensions, and quite frankly, for an annuity person who's used to selling off of guaranteed income, it's really challenging when you're sitting across the table from a prospect and they say, I've got a guaranteed pension, and between that and my Social Security, guaranteed income really isn't a big concern for me. So where do you go from there? Do you just say, okay, I guess it's not going to work out, sorry, have a good day? Or do you have another place to pivot to? So let me just maybe tie this all together with a story. We did a seminar here in Des Moines Tuesday, April 5th, and we had a gal come to one of our meetings. She was a 68-year-old female. She had a job with the state of Iowa, so she had a pension plan. Her total net worth was about $1.5 million. She had, between her Social Security and her pension plan, she had about $110,000 a year of guaranteed income. So talking about an annuity that creates guaranteed income for life really wasn't that big of a concern for her. She was concerned about market volatility, but in this particular instance, she actually didn't have a ton of risk assets. She did have an IRA, however. It was fairly conservative portfolio, but her biggest concern out of this whole deal was she has a daughter. Her daughter is in her late 20s. She's just getting started out in her professional career, and she wants to help give her daughter opportunities and a chance at a head start in life that she never had. So leaving as much money as possible to her daughter was her primary goal. This gal was savvy enough, she had done enough reading about this, that she was actually already in the process of doing Roth conversions. But like she told us, the trouble is if she has to start taking her required minimum distribution at age 72, that only gives her 4 years to get as much money off of this $1.2 million IRA over into that tax-free Roth account. She's not probably going to be able to get there without bumping herself into the 24% tax bracket. She's in the 22% today. She's not going to be able to get there without bumping herself into a higher tax bracket in any meaningful way to get a good portion of that IRA moved over to the tax-free Roth. So that opened the door for us to talk to her about life insurance. She'd already owned some life insurance through her employer. She understood that, or we were able to explain to her that, leveraging dollar for dollar life insurance is the best financial instrument in the marketplace today to get money tax-free to your beneficiaries. She understood the concept. We explained it to her in a way that made sense. And so once she had bought the life insurance, or agreed that life insurance made sense here, what we did was we went out and we found her a solution. We used a guarantee universal life, no lapse policy out to age 110. So it's $18,000 a year target premium. As long as she pays the premium, the life insurance contract is guaranteed to be in force out to age 110. That's going to create $500,000 of tax-free death benefit for her daughter. That takes the risk of dying prematurely, or in the next 5 to 10 years off the table, because like we talked about in our appointment, if she passed away next year, her daughter is probably going to take that IRA in a lump sum, and she's going to end up paying 40% of its value away in taxes between federal, state, and local taxes. That's just the way it is. So that idea she didn't like. So the life insurance soothes that pain. Now, here's where it gets interesting. As somebody who thinks that annuities are a wonderful financial instrument, and they can help a lot of baby boomers and retirees, her biggest concern with the life insurance policy was, I've got some longevity in my family. My grandmother lived into her 90s, and my mother lived into her 90s. What happens if I live to be 95 years old? Well, 95 years old versus 68 years old today, that's 27 years of paying in $18,000 a year every year into that life insurance policy. Comes out to $486,000 over 27 years there. Now you're talking about a situation where she pays in nearly as much as her daughter is going to get in benefit out of the program. So what we did was we used a fixed index annuity with an income rider, and let the income rider roll up for 4 years from age 68 to 72. When she's got to start taking her RMD, she's going to have to take the RMD anyways, so the annuity income rider will satisfy the RMD portion. So that's a positive. And she's also, what we did was we used $208,000 of premium into the annuity today. There was a bonus and a roll-up rate and other things that play into it, but the bottom line is $208,000 today is going to create $18,000 of income guaranteed for her life for as long as she lives, starting 4 years from today. And so here was a situation where at first appearance there really wasn't an opportunity to even talk about annuities, but then by talking about taxes and where marginal tax rates are probably headed in this country, and most of your net worth is tied up in a qualified account, which is true for most baby boomers that have been good savers. They know there's a tax time bomb waiting there, if not for them, then for their kids, because all of the money coming out of those accounts is going to be taxed at whatever your ordinary income tax bracket is. So we were able to do a great thing for her daughter, and we were also able to kind of backdoor into the annuity conversation. The other thing, from your point of view as a financial professional, we're all in this business to do the right thing for our clients, and help people. That's what it amounts to. But we also, I think, deserve and need to make a good living also. When you think about it, $18,000 a year in target premium at an 80% first year commission rate, that's $14,400 in commissions on the life portion of it. The $208,000 that we ended up putting into the annuity is $14,560 at a 7% commission. You're talking about $29,000 in commissions just off of this one case design. So the bottom line is, if you're not talking about taxes, you're missing an opportunity to talk about life insurance. And when you're not talking about life insurance, you're missing an opportunity to talk about annuities. One of the great ways that I think we can phrase this conversation when we're sitting in front of clients is, you can use life insurance and annuities to basically get on both sides of the transaction with the insurance companies. The life insurance is there in case of premature death, and then the annuity is there to basically cover morbidity. So you're talking about covering mortality and morbidity and getting on both sides of the transaction to make sure that you're a winner in it. It's been a great philosophy for us. We've got a great first appointment process and a second appointment process. I still think there's definitely a place to talk about income annuities, but I know a lot of advisors who they get in that situation where they've got a client who has a pension, or maybe they've got Social Security and a pension, and they've got enough income where they're really not interested in trying to create more income. Maybe even more income will create negative tax consequences for them. You just never know until you get into the numbers. But I know a lot of agents that would just give up on the idea of an annuity, or they would go again try to pitch accumulation potential in a historically low interest rate environment, which I just don't think makes a ton of sense. So this type of a program, it's good for you, it's good for your clients. If you want to learn more about the carriers that we use or the materials that we use to present this type of a concept, I'd love to talk to you. We could even talk about our seminar presentation where we start to introduce these types of ideas to folks. And our seminar, our sweet spot is folks who have about $500,000 of investable assets up to $2 million. We just out of that April seminar, we had ballpark rough numbers here, but we had between $10 and $12 million come through our doors in April. That's the total investable assets of the prospects that came to our meetings. When you think about, it's $6,000-$7,000 to do a seminar program between renting the space, paying for the dinner, and then doing the mailer drop. To have an opportunity like this where you can make $29,000 off of one prospect, you don't have to close everybody in the world. 2 or 3 of these sales and you'll be way to the better. So I appreciate your time. We'll talk to you later. Have a great week.